I thought you were just being like, yo.
Yo.
Yeah, exactly. That's more
Right.
how I got it. 3, 2, 1. Oh wait, yeah, no.
Cool. Timer in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Bible in 1 Year podcast, brought to you by 2 Brits and aBible. This is day 12, and today we're going to be looking at Genesis 35, 36, and 37.
In Genesis 35, God changes Jacob's name to Israel, and a lot of people die. In Genesis 36, Esau's story of marriage, kids, and general life is told. And in Genesis 37, Joseph's story begins, and his brothers sell him into slavery. Sweet. All right.
Fantastic.
Some big things going on in these chapters.
Yeah, well, this is where we start to get into Joseph, which is obviously one of the biggest stories, most well known, I suppose, in both Christian and secular circles. Certainly thanks to Andrew Lloyd Webber and the fantastic musical that is Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. So it's great. However, before we get there, I wanted to touch base here. At the very beginning of chapter 35, it's saying how Jacob said to his household and all who were with him, get rid of any foreign gods you have with you, etc. Now, a couple of chapters ago, Rebecca stole the gods from her father and sat on them. Did she have to come clean at this stage and be like, oh, I found these ones? Did she just sort of subtly slide them out the back door? How did she get rid of them?
I have absolutely no idea. I think that this is above our pay grade. I think that anyone who does know should comment, leave us a message, email, something, because we clearly need help with certain parts of this. But I have no idea, mate. I would say that it's unlikely she would give them up easily, because she literally used her time of the month as an excuse to sit on them while her father was literally searching every nook and cranny.
I suppose it was that or death, I think. So that might be why.
That's fair. So yeah, I'm really not sure. I find a couple of things in Genesis 35 quite interesting. Obviously, we were talking about this. Rachel gives birth to a son and dies in the process, names the son Ben-Oni, but then Jacob names him Benjamin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was a bit surprised by that. I know that names in the Old Testament are super important, and I just found it interesting that Rachel wanted to name the kid something, and then Jacob's like, nah, you have just given birth to this kid and died in the process, but nah.
Well, I mean, mine gives a little footnote here to say that Ben-Oni means son of my trouble or son of my sorrow, which isn't the best name to live throughout your life with.
No.
And Benjamin means son of my right hand. So, I mean, I guess there's logic in that of, he was born to Jacob's favorite wife, which you shouldn't have more than one wife. You certainly shouldn't have two wives. That's awkward, isn't it? So I guess that could have been a part of it in there, really.
That makes a lot of sense. Talking of favorites, let's just skip down to Genesis 37:3. Israel, aka Jacob, loved Joseph more than any of his other sons because he had been born to him in his old age, and he made an ornate robe for him. Obviously, the famous robe of Joseph, right? But I can understand a little bit why the brothers weren't massive on Joseph. If my parents blatantly loved my sibling more than me, and then my sibling was a bit of a turd about it, just like, you're all going to bow down to me one day. I had a dream about it. You're all going to bow down to me one day. I wouldn't sell them into slavery, but I wouldn't be happy. They'd be off the Christmas card list probably, at least for a bit.
Yeah. And what I didn't get was, so Joseph had this dream and tells his brothers, potentially in a lol kind of mindset, and they're all just super hacked off about it. Then he has a second dream and he's like, I'm going to tell them about the second one as well. That's just not a good move, really. Past mistakes.
Right. And you start to get the sense of why God allowed Joseph to be sold into slavery. Like, I got to work on this kid. He's got some things to learn to become great, as I intended. Exactly. But yeah, read the room.
Interestingly enough, when they did sell him, it was to the Ishmeelites. Now, of course, Ishmael was Abraham's first son through Hagar, Tamar, something like that, the concubine. So I think it's like they're kind of first or second cousins by this stage. So it's like he's selling them into a family, at least. It's not just some randomers that are walking on through. At least it's somewhere in the family genes that he's being sold.
That's crazy. It's crazy. I wonder if they knew that when this was going on, like, oh, that's my cousin. Oh, well, get the whip. Let's get him to work. But no, I did not know that. That's really interesting. Speaking of family and the growth from the descendants of Abraham and stuff, skipping back to Genesis 36:7, one of the other things I noted, their possessions were too great for them to remain together. The land where they were staying could not support them both because of their livestock. Speaking about,
Jacob,
exactly. And the fact that they have so much now, they're so abundant in riches and everything, they can't even fit it all now, is just a part of that fulfillment of God's covenant with Abraham.
No kidding. Cool. No kidding. No, that's a good point. I like that.
Love it. Yeah. I mean, honestly, other than that, we've got Reuben, haven't we? Reuben, the one brother.
That's a good point, because I wasn't sure here. It's so great reading through this again. We read through the Bible fairly recently, and this is a story which, like I said, I think most people know pretty well, certainly in Christian circles. But I hadn't realized it was Reuben that went back to try and save him from the well, to take him back to Jacob. Now, interestingly enough, and again, only reading through it this time, I picked it up. It was Reuben that had previously slept with his father's concubine, presumably, made a bit of an awkward, family Christmas that year.
Correct.
But was he potentially doing this to try and save the clearly favorite son, to try and kind of make it up, not justify, but make it up, and hopefully make amends slightly with his father?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that there's definitely some grounds to that being the case, right? I took it in a slightly different direction, which was, I said, Reuben never wanted this to happen, but sometimes evil will overcome good, even if it's only temporarily. So, he's the silent, actually, in fairness, vocal minority. He's like, no, let's not do this. But at the same time, he's still just overruled by his brothers, right? And he still goes along with it. I mean, he doesn't tell Jacob what's happened, really. And he keeps it to his chest that whole way through his whole life, basically. Maybe it's because of those 20 shekels that he got from his...
They all got, really. I don't know. I was able to tell you roughly what the price of the field was a few days ago. I couldn't tell you what that fetched in those days.
Yeah, I don't know what 20 shekels is worth, but wasn't it sort of 50 shekels was what David paid for the land?
Yes.
That the temple was built on.
Yeah.
So 20 shekels is half the land of a glorious temple. That doesn't sound too bad for a day's work.
Yeah, exactly.
For your brother.
That's fair. That's cool. Nice. Well, I know that obviously we've got a long ways to go in the Joseph story, and I think this is where things really start to, I don't know, I love this story. I think it becomes kind of real with these kind of stories. But just wanted to thank everyone that's been sort of tuning in so far, listening or watching, however you're tuning in. We really appreciate it. We are doing this, and we are not qualified to do this kind of stuff. Neither of us are theologians, really. But if you have any recommendations, any comments, any thoughts, we'd love for you to get in touch. I know we mention at the end of each podcast the Facebook page and the email, so feel free to do that. And we really value and appreciate you, really.
Absolutely. We're all on this journey together, and most of this is above our pay grade, but that doesn't mean that we won't be there every day doing this with you. If you just need a bit of encouragement, you just need a little bit of a British accent in your life for whatever reason.
Exactly. And the idea is to just, maybe it might pull something out a bit different for you, like it has done for us. We've been doing it with the YouVersion Bible, and it's the Bible Project Bible in 1 Year reading plan that we're working through. So if you want to just crack on with it, we'd love it. But for the time being, if you have any questions, then feel free to visit the Facebook page, 2 Brits and a Bible.
Or you can email us at 2britsbible@gmail.com. Until next time. Nice. That was good, Ads.
Yeah, I like that.